Today's the 25th of April, it's 2025, and we've come down to the Paseo Maritimo where we were a week or so ago, but we were driving. It took us 45 minutes to drive along here, and hopefully it won't take us that long. We're going to walk today, but that way we can have a little look at what's going on here on the Paseo Maritimo. And I think the first thing to note is it isn't finished. It's supposed to be finished, and this is supposed to be the promenade, and that's far from finished. This is, well, what used to be the Can Blanc, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but the whole thing is, it looks as though it's been demolished. Certainly the boards down there are in a terrible state, and it's all closed up. Well, that's not really surprising considering the work that's been going along here. The cycle path, I think that part is actually done, but because there is no promenade part here, it means we have to walk on the cycle path. And current regulations in Mallorca say that gives you a fine. You get fined for walking on a cycle path. But as there's no other way of doing it, we've got to do it. So, not so good. The first impressions just down there, we've got the stepping stones that we've walked across many times. Nice to see that they're still there. And if we look on here, we can see that they're getting there. This is all got to be planted with whatever they're going to put in here. Still a lot of traffic around. Cyclists are using the cycle path, so it's a little bit dangerous. It's the place to walk and to cycle. And we come down on the bus. That all worked very well. And the road is actually almost, well, it looks as though it is done. I think there may be another surface to go on there though. I'm not sure. So, yeah, we can walk by the sea, almost. It's very much an almost. And I think we're getting to a point where we're actually going to separate ourselves from the cyclists and the scooters. So we're going to have a little bit of a promenade. But again, it's not finished. I sent a message earlier on today asking me about what the promenade's going to be like, and is it going to be finished by June, because that's when they're coming on holiday. Well, now you can actually judge whether this part's going to be finished or not.
Plant some trees there, are they?
Well, they've got a lot of planting to do, and this part, the concrete's down now. They've just got to put the little paving stones on top of it. And I think now we get to the part that is finished, or almost finished. It's not completely finished because look, the edge there isn't finished, and we've still got the fencing, but the gardens are in place. Palm trees are in place, and so that's not too bad. That's the Costa Azul Hotel. The person who wrote to me is they're going to be staying at the Hotel Belvedere, so we'll look out for that as we go along. And we were worried as we came out whether we'd be in some shade, but we are now. We're getting a feel of what it's going to be like with the garden areas, the trees, and the wide promenade, and the cycle path completely separate. And then another pedestrian path, and that will be where people can catch the bus. But all of this has been cut off to the general public until just over a week ago. They said they were going to have it open for Easter, and I suppose they did actually live up to the letter of the law of what they said, but finished? No.
James.
And that's the Hotel Palma Belvedere. So that's the Hotel Palma Belvedere, and this is how close it is to finishing. It's only the 25th of April, so they've got over a month, haven't they? They've got plenty of time to get all of this done, and so hopefully by the time you get here in June, things will be a little bit different, and will be sort of finished. You're looking at this and saying, well, why aren't people working? It's now 20 to 7 in the evening, and well, I know some of you would be saying, well, they should be working, it's daylight, and you're probably right. But so far along here, we've seen nobody working. It is also Friday evening, and we do tend to have an early finish on a Friday.
No fucking way. No, on the stag, no. No, you know what I mean? He's having a bit.
There's lots of boats going out now. These tourist boats taking people out, and looks like a whole load have just got off. This area just to the left, there's a car park there, and that's been sort of a place where they've been storing materials for the construction work. Edging's done here, but you can see the edging just sort of stops there. They've still got lots to do. Holes in the ground, big and sort of round. And across the road there we've got the auditorium. That's where we go to see the concerts and different things that are going on. That's where we went to see John Bishop just a couple of weeks ago. Really enjoyed that. He was really entertaining, very funny, and well, he tells a good story. The businesses on this side, there used to be a restaurant there, but obviously they couldn't operate. And well, I said there's no workers. There are some workers down here. Guy with a dumper truck. Car park is open. There's a guy there who will direct you to a parking space. He has no authority whatsoever, and it is a completely free car park. You don't have to pay anything to park there. Here again we are on some all. Well, this hasn't actually changed. They've not done anything to the paving here. This is as it was originally. So whether they're going to do anything or not, I don't know. I'm just noticing some of the little paving slabs here are broken, and it is on a slightly different level. And you can see here they put a little ramp in just to take it up. So I'm guessing this is going to go up at some point, but don't know when. And now, getting a better picture of what it's supposed to look like as the barriers start to disappear by the sea. It's very windy, very breezy. So you can see how we've got two areas to walk. We've got this area, or There's a cycle path, and then there's another area. So here we're well away from the traffic. Now what's happened is that we've always had this area to walk on, and there's always been a cycle path, but there used to be a lot of parking along here, and that...
All this soil used to be parking, didn't it?
Yeah, so it's all gone. There's no parking. And I've just been reading in the paper today that some of the restaurants along here are complaining now because they've got a massive, and that's the word they use, a massive drop in bookings because they suggest it's because people can't find anywhere to park their cars, so they can't get to the restaurants very easily. And it's not, you can't say you've got to use public transport. You can use a taxi, but the buses are not very regular, and certainly late in the evening they sort of peter off and almost disappear. So I can sympathise a lot with these people. They took away all of this car parking that was along here, which was not only on this side, but in the central reservation there were several big car parks all the way along, so there was lots and lots of parking, and they've done nothing to replace that along the Paseo Maritimo. They have put a car park in Mayor, but it's a long way away and just not very convenient. It's not a particularly nice car park. I don't think many people use it, other than people with camper vans who camp there overnight.
So what are they going to do with all this soil? Just leave it?
Well, they're going to make it into a garden area. I don't know what they're going to plant in it, but they put, in some parts, they put watering systems in. So all of this, I think, was going to look really pretty. And just noticing here, it sort of forks off. So we've got the part that goes by the sea, and then we've got another side we can walk a little bit away from the sea. And it's clear it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be really nice when it's finished. And how quickly that gets done, well, who knows? This is just a gardening thing. I'm sure they can get that done very quickly. So there they must have only put that soil down there very, very recently. Still big holes in the ground here and there. But here, something green on there. I'm not sure if that's something. Is that something that's growing? It's hard to tell. It's very green, and it's all the way along. And there is evidence of watering systems popping up here and there.
It smells new, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does smell new. There's a smell of wood as well, of like timber, that they've built something out of wood. This is a bus stop over there. Now start to appreciate how much of the road has been taken away by the amount of space they've created here.
They've made all this space to walk, and you can't come here though. You can't get here.
No, so we've got off the bus more or less where we started, and we're going to walk. Well, we're going to walk to the end, and we're thinking, if possible, we'll actually walk into Mayor and we'll catch another bus from there. Otherwise, we're going to have to walk all the way back. Some sort of green mulch they've put on there. It's not anything that's growing, but it is green. And there's a worker. Don't think we can actually go much further along there. He's got some fencing, so we'll come back down towards the sea and go a little bit closer. There has always been access to these quays. It's not been easy. So having the car so far away, it's actually reduced the number, the sound of the cars. So they are really quite a long way away from us. And here there's a big section in the middle where they're still doing the construction. They're still doing lots of big work, and trees are being planted. Weren't here before, so some of these are new trees. And the other promenade that we were on carries on. And now I like to be this side anyway. I do like to look at the boats. I do like these boats. I think they've got nice lines to them. Rich boys' toys. I have many times on previous videos talked about the new government when they came in. They said they needed an underground car park putting along here, and that could well have been a missed opportunity, because now to do that would mean ripping all of this up again, digging it all out, and that could take another 2 or 3 years to complete.
Hotels have their own car parks.
The hotels, I'm assuming they've got car parks, and the apartments along here will have car parks. And there is a car park behind all of this in Marquis de la Senya, and there's an access to it just the other side of the auditorium.
You have to pay.
Yeah, you have to pay. Yeah, they're not free.
Oh, they planted some lavender.
So we have got the start of things to come. This is what's going to happen all along here. And here we can see the start of a children's park. Maybe that's the smell of the wood I could smell. Not open for the children to use yet, but some nice things there for them to play on in a relatively safe environment. It looks as though we can actually go back onto this path. I think in the video of the drive, the slow drive, we can actually see this. That tar there. Black tar. Been a glorious day today. Temperatures well up into the mid-20s, and it's just a bit breezy this evening again. It doesn't seem to have stopped the breeze, and the weather isn't settled yet. You can see some more plants that have gone down here. So the gardeners are at work planting the plants, and well, they've got a big job because there's a lot of it to do now. And then once it is done, and hopefully they're going to keep it well maintained and looked after, and that means, I would think, some permanent staff gardening here. Not something you can just leave and walk away at. It's too big an area. It's going to be another fourth ridge. You start at one end, and when you're finished, just go back and start again.
More than one to look after this lot.
Yeah, it's going to take a few gardeners, so one would hope they've taken all of that into consideration. These palm trees are all new. It's something I've always said. We're in Palma, we should have palm trees. And I That's what they have here. On this side, we've got some other trees though, and these are not palm trees. I do know that difference. I'm not very good with my botany, but I can tell the difference between a palm tree over there and not a palm tree over here. So this is all just recently being watered, so more plants, bigger plants in there.
Plenty of weeding to do.
Yeah, it's going to be one big task. Yeah, lots of things here being planted. And well, we're going to get the weather now for growth. There's going to be lots of sunshine, and they've got the watering in there, so and you can see the next one, they've got all the tubes for watering along there as well. And usually we would have stopped around here on our walks, but now we're going to carry on. And this is Club de Mar, a big sailing club, and that's also been having a makeover at the same time as the Paseo Maritimo. And to some extent it's been opened up a little bit so that the general public can get in there more easily. There's still a big fence along here, mind, so we're not going to get in this way. Some of the things that are underground, these are some of the valves with electrical connections, so they're going to be controlled remotely or automatically. And this part has definitely improved a lot. It's now a lot wider, a lot more space. And well, the traffic's moving a lot more freely today than it was on the day that we were going along it. In some of the videos, well, lots of videos that I've done, I've talked about graffiti, and I'm just looking across the road and you can see the graffiti across there. The mess it looks. And you wonder why we've got a derelict building so close to the front here in Palma. But it is derelict completely. It used to be a club. There was that one of them down here was Pachas. I think that might have been it. I think that might have been Pachas. It's a club that came originally from Ibiza, I think, and still exists there. At least it did when we were there a couple of years ago. And they took over this building, which must have been that one or the next one along. Anyway, it's in the grounds of the church, and the church didn't like what they were doing, and so they closed them down. But nothing has been done, and so it's pretty much a mess. But this is a big improvement. This is somewhere we would never really have bothered walking before, but it's now much more pleasant. And besides the Marina on this side, which is still Club de Mar, and on that side there's another smaller Marina. And you can see we've got a TUI ship in there. That will be setting sail a little bit later on this evening, I'm sure. One thing that was suggested years ago is that they would have a tram that would go along the Paseo Maritimo, and I think maybe that's a missed opportunity. A tram along here, I think, could have been really useful, especially if it had gone on further, maybe all the way to the airport. At the moment, the plans to put the tram going to the airport, they were shelved, and now it's a train which will go all the way to Mayor and possibly beyond towards Santani, calling at the airport. That's now, I suppose, in the distant future, because there's got to be a lot of work done before that. The plans have got to be finalised, and the money has got to be sourced. You can see there's another big cruise ship just on the other side of the harbour. Oh, and another one there too, yeah. And typically we're going to have, all through the summer now, 2 or 3 of these cruise ships in every day. And some of them are really big. I was reading about one that's still being built, and it has a capacity for 7,000 passengers, over 7,000 passengers, and 3,000 crew. That's 10,000 people that could potentially be floating around in the Mediterranean, because it's going to be calling in to Palma. And there's suddenly you've got the influx of 10,000 people here in Mallorca just for the day. A good sign though is that 3 of them in today, and none of them are particularly belching smoke today. So that's one of the big concerns, is just how dirty some of these cruise ships are and how polluting to our environment here in Palma. So I did say at the beginning of this fence, I said that Club de Mar had opened up a little bit. It doesn't look like it, does it? It looks like Fort Knox. You know, we're not allowed in. Hopefully that's going to change a little bit as we get a bit closer to the new buildings, which are right in front of us now. All of those new buildings, they've been under construction at the same time as the road and the promenade here along the front. And looks like they're going to finish at about the same time. It doesn't look as though they're finished yet, but still work to be done. But this is the first time I've been so close to it, I think.
So what is it, just offices?
No, this is, well, there will be offices, I guess. But I think there's a swimming pool up there on the top. Can you see the rails? There's a swimming pool up there. There will be restaurants, there will be bars, and yeah, there will be the offices that go with boats and yachting. So yeah, all of that sort of thing. I think it's going to be quite exciting. I'm quite looking forward to having a nosy round there. And we've got the boat show next week. I don't know if we're going to get down to that. But I'm sure it would have been nice to have had this finished so that people could have seen it in all its glory. But it's not going to happen. Still too much to do. And just looking back on this side on the promenade, still work to do. Alright, I think I forgot to point out that the 1930 restaurant, there was a bridge that came down. It was a steel bridge that went to the club and the swimming pool on the other side in the centre of the reservation. All of that's obviously gone. They took that bridge down, but they had to close the Paseo Maritimo for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Not just for that bridge, but for the bridge that was here. And it's gone. Here's the ramp. You see, this is all going to be now open. So we'll just be able to walk in there, I'm assuming. And down there, it's all going to be open. And we've got gardens here leading down. Or are they going to put a gate on there? I don't know. I don't know how open it's going to be. It would be nice if we could all just walk around there. I'm pretty sure it's all public land. And they used to have a big car park. Is that still there? There's certainly lots of space that wasn't here before. Lots of office space, shop space, bar space, and even outside space. This is much more extensive than I thought it was. It does look a bit grey and concretey there, doesn't it? And just there, you can just see where the road was. So that's where the road used to go. And we'd be almost approaching the bridge here, and that's where the bridge was on the other side. And that's how people used to get into the port. From that side they could drive and get into the port. All that was demolished and done very quickly, actually. I think they finished it ahead of schedule. They still need a bit of tidying up on it, but it's now done. And this looks like it's a car park, multi-storey car park here. Some bars, offices across there that need a little bit of a makeover. I think they're going to keep up with the rest of the area. It's been allowed to fall into a little bit of disrepair. And this is how you get to the ferries, and some of the cruise ships is down here. Still work in progress, and it needs to be finished off. So, sign says access to cruise ships this way somewhere. Not that we're going anywhere near any cruise ships. Not on this particular occasion. Though Anita has actually said we could go on a cruise later this year. I did hear you right, didn't I, darling? Did you say that? So it may be, tentatively. We've got loads of plans for this year. Our summer sort of is beginning to take shape now. Here's a TUI coach, and this will be taking people to the ship. Two TUI coaches, and these are people perhaps that have been picked up at the airport. As we come towards the end of the Paseo Maritimo, that's across there, that's the Baleares. That's the ships that take us to the mainland. There is some provisional. It says we can go this way provisionally. See, still lots of work to be done. It's the oceanography and meteorology department there. I thought that was going as well, but it's still there. You see there's parking meters here because there used to be a lot of parking along here, and all that area over there, that was parking. More parking that's gone, disappeared. I don't know how they're going to solve that parking issue.
Por aquí, para subir por allí, para ir a la... Porque por allí, tú veis por ahí. Sí, por aquí puedes llegar a Puerto Pi. ¿Tú por dónde ibas?
We've run out of footpath. We have to cross the road. It's the ferry terminal. There's another ferry terminal a little bit further on. Last time we went, we didn't go with Baleares, we went with, who was it? Yeah. GNV was it? Yeah.
Just had a sign for that.
There's the mine shift. Relax, now we can hopefully walk along here. It'll be somewhat hemmed in. Not showing it off in its best light. There's a lot of work to be done along here. At one point, somebody decided to set up a camp in the middle of the road. He was here for quite a few nights. Got a submarine coming in here tomorrow, I think, and it is going to be open to the public, so you have to get tickets to go on it, and it's a Spanish submarine. I must say I didn't realise the Spanish had submarines, but that will be interesting. I think you can just go in to have a look, but if you want to go on board you need to have tickets, which are free, but you have to have them, and you have to have not just tickets, you've got to have ID as well. Lots of security going, oh, maybe I was wrong, maybe the submarine is already here. And, there you go. Talk about the submarine, and there it is. And some people are already going to have a look, but it does say that you can go and have a look around the outside. Well, I guess that's what I'm doing here. And the tours you have to pay. You don't have to pay, but you have to book. And of course it's a submarine, so it's climbing ladders to get in. A few years ago there was a Dutch submarine, and I was invited to go on there, so it was really quite interesting. And being a Dutch submarine, of course, there was loads of height. So no problems with banging your head. Well, not at least in most of the parts that we went to. This one isn't very new. I think it's about 40 years old, which would seem very old to me for a submarine. And I've been on a number of British submarines in the UK.
From which country?
This one's Spanish, called the Galerna.
Oh, yes, this is Spanish flag.
That's nice to see, and nice to see that they are opening it up to the public. It's only here for a couple of days, so I'm not sure you're going to get a chance to have a look at it. A lighthouse across the road there somewhere I've always fancied going to visit, and that too is open to the public, but again you have to make arrangements and book a place. You can't just turn up and walk in. This is a naval base, and there'll be guards on the gate, and they won't let you in without some authorization. Probably somebody to meet you at the gate.
Glad we haven't got to walk all the way back.
Me too. We're almost at Portopee now. That's the Portopee shopping centre across the road. And this vessel here is the tax people. They're going to be, I suppose, checking boats as they come in, make sure they've paid all their duties and what have you. And years ago, we always used to see the ship here, the boat here called the Fortuna, which was owned by the... I'm not sure they were doing the required speed limit.
The Promenade boat used to be here.
Did it?
Yeah, isn't it? It's in Porto Cristo now, isn't it?
In Porto Cristo, yeah. What we get along here, these police boats. This is actually the next one along is Guadra Seville. They'll go out and do their patrolling along here. From here along to the coast of Mallorca. And quite often smaller naval vessels will come into this section of the port. Bigger ones have to be a little bit further out. And there's the Portopee. It's the shopping centre closest to where we live. Another Guadra Seville boat, and just here we've got a centre for the underwater department. They got the divers. So another Guadra Seville boat here, a smaller one, big fast one. An even smaller Guadra Seville boat, which is a rubber dinghy type boat with two huge engines on the back. So like that TUI bus there, that's probably just come from the airport. But now they have to go all the way around Palma around the outside of Palma and then come back in this way to get to the port. It's the only way you can get into the port now. That's if we wanted to go to Porto Peak. We don't want to go up there, do we?
Which way do we go now then? Just this way?
Go around here, yeah. Well, I don't think that took us as long walking as it did driving in the car. This road out to the left goes to a place called the Dique West, which is more of the harbour, the port, and that's where the Mein Schiff, the big cruise ship, will be down there. But it might be of interest to some of you as there's a museum up there called the San Carlos Museum, which is a military museum. Free to go in, free to enter, for you to walk around. Gives you great views from there of the ships that are in the harbour, so it's somewhere I go quite often. It's only open though, I think, in the mornings. I have to check the hours, but certainly good views and great views over the sea. So another place, there's some seats up there, and I have in the past just gone and sat there. And the San Carlos Museum does have a bar. Again, it's not been open the last few times I've been, but maybe that's because it's been the winter time. Maybe now it's getting a bit better. Oh, there it is, look. The Castle Museum of San Carlos. I love it, and I go quite regularly to have a look. Where these cycles have come from. This is the motorway as it comes into Palma. We would normally be coming down here in the car. But maybe we should finish it here. Well, it's been quite a nice long walk, and hopefully you've seen a bit of the progress that's being made slowly but surely on the Paseo Maritimo, which may be done in the next few weeks. We'll be back down to have a look. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. So bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. This is the free car park that I was talking about, and just look at the postscript to show you the car park's behind the petrol station, and it's actually on two different levels. So we've got here, and then there's like an upper car park as well. You can see there's a few vans here.
Parked here once, haven't
We did, and it was a disaster. Anyway, that's it. I might give another postscript a little bit later on. We'll see. Bye for now. Well, this is the road into the car park. So the car park's just down there, and that's the road that takes you up to it, and you go all the way around. Eventually come back down. Bye for now. Bye again. Well, I can't tell you how lucky we were.
we? Been very, very lucky.
We just got to the bus stop, and I looked at my app, and it said 1 minute and the bus was coming. And there it is, we're on the bus all the way to Hanover. Well, this is the end, I'm afraid, so bye for now.